Good morning. Today we are going to study the topic graph of sine and cosine function. First we will discuss the sine function, graph of sine function. Sine function. Okay. Here the general form of y is equal a sine bx. A sine bx. So I can write it the amplitude is equal absolute A. So this is a absolute A. So I can write it amplitude is equal absolute A, and here the period is equal to pi over absolute B. So 2 pi absolute B. So this is the coefficient we have here. So you have to write it A here and then B here. So directly we go to the example. So what we have, suppose graph y is equal to sine x. So how will you write it? This one, first you have to write it A and B. What is A, what is B? A is equal 2 and B is nothing but the coefficient of x, that is the angle is 1 here. So I can write it here, it is 1. Now the amplitude, what is the amplitude? The formula is given by absolute A, which is equal to, which is 2, and the period is 2 pi over absolute B, which is equal 2 pi over 1. So the answer is 2 pi. So I got it, the amplitude and period. Usually when you graph any function, we will use first the schedule, after that we have to draw the graph. But here we are going the reverse process. Let us take the schedule here, the table x and y value, x and y value. Usually we are drawing the x value and the y value, but after that we have to discuss the point. So now we are going to study here the value which is x, here y. Now what are the points? This is my x and y value. So let me draw this here, and this is the y value. Okay. This is y and this is x, and since it is given 0, and what about your amplitude? The amplitude is 2. I have to write it the 2 and minus 2. So all the curves will be lies in between minus 2 and plus 2, and here this is the period. So just listen here, this is a very important thing. I write it the full period, one full period I have to draw the graph of this given function. Now how will you write this? So this is a half of this. What is the half of this? It is by. What is the half of this? Pi over 2, and here you have to multiply by 3. So multiply this term into 3. So this is the same for all the problem. We have taken the full period, we will take half, but then we will take off and then multiply by 3. So this is the rule. So I can write it the values. What is the x value here? 0, and here pi over 2, here pi, and then 3 pi over 2 and 2 by. And what about the value of y? You have to substitute the value of y. Now if I substitute the values here, first 0, what should be the 0 value? The y is given here. What is y? Y equal to sine x. If I substitute 0, you will get 0. The point is 0. And if I substitute pi over 2, you will get plus 2. The next, it goes, only 2 point is enough to know the behavior of the graph. If the 2 point is there, then the next point it will be coming 0. The next point is coming here minus 2, and then next here 0. This is a wave-like structure, right? So this is the sine graph. So using this one, I can write it the values. What are the values here? It is 0, this is plus 2, right? And this is 0, again minus 2, and then 0. So this is the graph and this table of x and y value. So usually for all the graph, we will take the table x and y, the schedule. After that we have to take the graph, but here we are going with the different technique. It is the easiest one. Now we will take the another example. So here you have graph y is equal minus 2 sine pi over 2x. Okay, the same rule. What is a, what is b? A is minus 2 and b is pi over 2. So this is my a and this is b value. You should not take the coefficient of x, angle only, not including x. Should not take x. Now what is the amplitude here? Amplitude absolute a, which is equal minus 2, which is equal to, and the period. What is the period? 2 pi over absolute b, which is equal 2 pi over, here you will have pi over 2. What happened here? The pi with the pi with cancel, so the 2 goes up, so you'll have the value is equal 4. 2 2s are 4. So I got it, the amplitude and the period. Now I have to draw the schedule, right? The schedule here. So usually what we have done before, so we have to draw the first the graph, after that we have to write it the schedule. The same technique we are going to follow. Yeah, this is x and y value, and here you have y axis. Okay, this is x, this is y. Okay, so draw the graph. What is the graph of this? the y-axis, this is my x-axis. Okay, this is y-axis, this is x-axis, and this is 0. And what is the amplitude? Amplitude is 2 and -2, and the full period, which is given by 4. What is the half of this? What is the half of this one? Half is 2. What is the half of this? 1. So multiply by 3. You'll have multiply by 3. So I write it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my x value. This is x value. Now what should be the points here? Where is the points? If I substitute the x value here, 0. The next value, if I substitute 1 here, if I substitute 1 here, so what will get? It is sine pi over 2, it is 90. Sine 90 is 1 minus 2. So I got it, the value which is equal minus 2. So just 2 points is enough to know the behavior of the graph. So 2 points, but then it will goes 0. The next one it will goes to 2. The next one it will goes to minus 1. So this is the graph of the sine minus sign. What is the difference between the last problem and this problem? Here we have plus 2. That's why it goes plus 2 first, then it goes next one. But here we have minus 2. Therefore the graph start from down first. So we have down first, goes up next. Okay, so this is the main difference between the plus and minus. Now we will solve the more example relating this. Graph y is equal absolute value 2 sine x over 4. Absolute value sine x, 2 sine x over 2. So what is a value here? This is 2. B value is 1 over 4. This is the coefficient of x. The angle is here, it is 1 over, this is 1 over 4. This is my b value, right? As usual, the amplitude and the period. So amplitude, which is equal 2, which is 2, and the period, which is equals 2 by over absolute b. So here 2 by over b value. What is b value? 1 over 4. So what happened? It goes up. So the 4, it goes up. So what will get? The value is 4 into 2, it is 8 pi. So this is the period and this is my amplitude. Now we are going to see the schedule here. So first, in the last problem, whether we have fixed the value? No. So just we have to fill the value as well. So what should be the values here? The first value is 0. The next value, it is minus 2. Then it comes 0. Then it goes to, then 0. Okay. So here it is absolute value. So let us go with this. This is x and y. Okay, first we draw the graph, after that we will fill the schedule. Okay, this is y-axis and this is my x-axis. Okay, what happened here? This is y, this is x. Now what is the period? It is origin 0, the amplitude is 2, here minus 2, this is minus 2, and the full period is given by 8 by. So what is the half of this one? What is the half of this one? It is 4 pi. And what is the half of this? 2 pi. And multiply by 3. You will have here 6 pi. This is 6 pi. 6 pi. Now I write it 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, and 6 pi and 8 pi. For all the problem, just here it is multiply by 3. Whatever be the term it is there, just here multiply by 3 for all the problem. This is the technique we are following. Multiply by 3. Multiply by 3. Now, okay. So what should be the values first? Okay. The first value, it is 0, right? The sine function is start from 0, whether it goes up or down. Since it is positive, therefore, since it is positive here, therefore it goes up, right here. The next one, it comes here. The next one, in the regular graph we are coming here, but due to the absolute value it goes again plus, due to the absolute value, and here it is this one. Why it is not coming down? Because it is absolute value, absolute plus, so we have to, all the graph will be up. Okay, so we draw the graph here like this. Okay, now what should be the values? The value is 0, it is plus 2, 0, it is 2, and then 0. So all the curves are up, right? So this is all curves are up. All curve up. Why? Because this is positive absolute value, right? Now I can take the next example, which is minus of absolute. Graph y is equal here minus 3 sine 3x. Now as usual we have to take the a and b. What is a? A is this one, b is 3. So amplitude absolute a, which is equal 3, which is 3, and the period, which is 2 pi over absolute b, which is equal 2 by over, this is b. So the answer is 2 by over 3. You will get a fraction, right? So the period and amplitude is ready. Now the schedule. What is the schedule here? Okay. And then This is a y-axis and this is my x-axis. Okay. Y and this is my x. And what about here? This is x, this is y. Okay. What is the amplitude here? 0 origin. Here 3 is amplitude, right? And here -3. What is the period? The full period is given by 2 pi over 3. Now what is the half of this? If you divide this half, you will get pi over 3, right? So you have to do it like this: 2 pi into half. So 2 cancel, you will get pi over 3. I got it, pi over 3. Now here pi over 3 is there. I have to multiply half. So what will get? Pi over 6, right? So this is pi over 6. And then here you have to multiply by 3. If you multiply by 3, what will get? Pi over 6 multiply by 3, you will get cancel here pi over 2. So I got it here. The value is pi over 2. For all the problem, just whatever be the number here there, just you have to multiply with 3. So this is the rule. Multiply by 3. First number. Now what is this value? You will get it. The value is 0 pi over 6 and pi over 3, and here pi over 2, 2 pi over 3, and I have to plot the points. The first, it is start with 0, obviously. The next one, it is minus, therefore down, and the next here. And usually the regular graph goes up, but here it is absolute with the minus, all the curves down. So you will have -3, again it become 0. So if you join the line, you will see this is a one graph, one curve, and this is the another one. So here all the curves down. Why it is all curves down? All curve down due to the minus, and absolute, right? If it is plus absolute, all curve up. If it is minus absolute, all the curves will be down, right? So you will see this as a PDF in the description box. Thank you for watching.